Creativity is about dropping limitations and pushing off borders to see which amazing places our creative abilities might bring us to. And this program is about sharing with you a jazzy mix of a creative funk. Welcome to Thrive on Creativity. Creativity is the cornerstone of remaking the world. It's our unique defined trait that lets us thrive within the 21st century. We're here to share with you a jazzy mix of a creative funk. People with backgrounds in various areas such as art, science, business, sports join me to discuss the meaning of creativity and flow. Creativity and flow are about dropping limitations and pushing off borders to see the amazing places our creative abilities might bring us to. We're glad you're here to join us on this creative journey. From the heart, we're deeply grateful for your creativity.
Let's talk about being creative.
It definitely takes years of practice, but even right now, if you put down a piece of music, you're not going to play it well the first time, even after years of practice.
Yeah.
But if you develop and go through years of training and rehearsal and you really enjoy it, you're going to find enjoyment in trying out new things and seeing new notes being played and understanding all those new things.
Yeah, that's right. Nice. That's interesting. You can find inspiration everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's insane.
That's the thing. I think it's about like being present.
Mm.
You know, people who meditate,
Yeah.
it's about kind of like being in that moment and concentrating and listening and
Exactly.
feeling and just
Be aware, right?
awareness. Yeah. And I think as a creative person, it's, you know, that's always beneficial to kind of just sit inside yourself and observe.
Yeah.
Observe.
Yeah. Nice.
It's work. It takes sweat and it takes time and it takes effort to come up with something great. Inspiration can happen in a lightning bolt, but you still have to craft it and you still have to mold it into something that's good. You know, failing is not only part of the game, but it's part of succeeding.
Yeah, it's crucial, right?
It's crucial.
Yeah.
You can't succeed all the time.
Yeah.
And your failures will lead you to success.
Love it.
Yeah, freedom isn't freedom. Discipline is freedom.
Yeah, there you go. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love discipline, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have the feeling I can actually, you know, then I thrive. If I put more work into this, I can get there.
There always is, I think. When you have just a passion for
Yeah.
music like that, it's so hard to stop, and you always just want to keep reaching that next level and getting better, and it's just like, yeah.
And it was the first time I'd ever really heard the blues. And it was just like electrifying, the sound. And of course, the main character, Ralph Macchio, was playing on a guitar, right?
Yeah.
And my main instrument was piano, but I had a friend who played guitar, and he'd come over and he showed me the blues scale on guitar, but then I picked it out on the piano, and it was like this revelation of this completely new sound to this young kid growing up in Arizona,
Yeah.
you know. And so at that moment, when I heard the blues and I was able to kind of mimic that sound on the piano, that was
Okay.
electrifying. You know, it was like, wow, this
Yeah, I
is
bet.
cool. You know.
Nice.
Sitting and staring at a wall for an hour and a half in the middle of the day is part of the creative process.
Yeah.
You know, going out and having a coffee or drinking some green tea and then looking at a painting in a museum is part of the process.
Yeah, you mentioned that like whenever you take a walk, you know, you start to think.
Yeah.
This is like you're creative in that very moment, and that's how I feel too. Even when I was younger and working on music, I always built songs in my head. You know, while I was
doing the dishes or
or anything, taking a shower, like this cliche kind of thing,
or playing soccer or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you hear it in your mind, and then you build it together. You know, that's I completely agree.
And you know, one thing I found circling back to when you have writer's block or
Yeah.
some sort of lack of ideas.
How do you deal with disappointment of like you're sitting and nothing's happening?
I value those moments
Mm.
because they teach me something about resilience, you know, and I really like that, and I just accept it. And okay, moment of truth. I like when I'm aware of those moments and okay, I'm tested right now. Let's see where I'm at in a way. You know, that's how I see it. And it teaches me something about like this trial and error game, you know, and like about like what it means to not succeed. So that means you fail, right? Music is or the arts in general. It's like this constant game of trial and error. You know, you're always failing constantly until this whole song is written. Because you're trying, you know, and your trying is not successful.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think that's not devastating. I think it's just part of this whole journey.
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know, every day it's a new
Definitely,
education.
Yeah.
I'm learning literally new skills all the time, but I'm also learning about creativity and learning about inspiration and learning what I can do, what I can achieve. That is what maybe motivates me every day to try to. It's not a conscious like I must learn one thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
You just the cliche is true. You do learn something new every day.
Yeah.
The hardest part is to balance that with our everyday lives and keeping up with the current events and news, because that stuff, especially these days, can be so overwhelming
Yeah.
and disheartening and depressing.
Mm-hmm.
So countering that with as much art and beauty as possible is the only way to survive.
Awesome. Of course, sometimes people get really frustrated, but frustration can also be, I think, be a sign of, you're not satisfied, so go back out there and make it better next time. So it gives you motivation, and that's how frustration sometimes can be good, like used in a good way. But no, I'm not devastated by it. And to be truly honest, then I do take a break. You know,
Yeah.
little things, or I switch, I go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, I just try to a different, I don't know, song or whatever. You know, okay, maybe it's not music today, it's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And see, yeah.
You know, I worked as a studio musician in Japan, so I was in the Japanese pop music world.
Oh, damn.
Back in the 90s, a long time ago.
How was that?
Well, again, that's where I started my career, my professional career in Japan, playing in studios. So definitely a different entry into the world of recording studios than here in Los Angeles. But I worked with a lot of great people. I learned so much. I did everything as a freelancer. I played live shows. I played on TV shows. Played on movie scores. A lot of mostly records, karaoke recordings. TV commercials, TV shows, all sorts of stuff. It was just every day was a different thing. That's one thing I like about being a studio musician, that it's just different every day. But
Yeah.
anyway, but in Japan, things are done a little bit differently there, but ultimately it's the same. You hit record,
Yeah.
play the music, go home.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that's a learning experience. What I learned is just like the way you respond to things, like how to decide.
Do you have time where you practice scales in your voice and do?
Oh yeah. Like I practice every day. Yeah. Speaking of discipline, right?
Uh-huh.
So I understand that I'm not the most talented person out there or the smartest. So I need to put in the work. That's how I see it. Yeah. Just keep practicing. Learn your songs.
Learn your songs, right? Yeah.
But at the end of the day, music is being consumed in greater amounts than ever before.
Yes.
I still think there are too many people putting out records, and that's a problem.
Oh, it's
But,
like, yeah,
you know.
it's a flood.
It's a flood, yeah, and I have theories about how that all happened. But at the end of the day, you know, all we can do is just make music, do it to the best of our ability,
Mm-hmm.
and
Share
try
it with the rest.
share it with the world, but also try to make things that do connect with people and
Yeah,
do
yeah,
resonate with
yeah.
people. Because again, otherwise you're just making music in your own bedroom. fine. But the whole idea is it's not about getting rich. The whole idea is to connect with people.
Yeah.
With your music.
Yeah.
Whether it's the lyric you wrote, whether it's the melody you write, or whether it's the violin part that I play.
Yeah.
It's about connecting and moving people and making people feel something.
Yeah.
Whatever that feeling is.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So for me on the cello, it's about tone production and it's about intonation and practicing along with a drone. I mean, like with the Indian music, it's there's a tone center that is always there, and so it's like I'll use a drone that's like from this. There's just like this drone, and I'll play along to it. Just like and each pitch of the mode, and just tuning that.
Nice.
So that's what I've been working on a lot recently.
That's so
just because
cool.
intonation is a big thing on the cello. I should do that with my voice too. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of voices.
But at the end of the day, all we can do is just make music, do it to the best of our ability, and
share it with the rest.
Share it with the world, but also try to make things that do connect with people and do resonate with people. Because again, otherwise you're just making music in your own bedroom. Fine, but the whole idea is it's not about getting rich. The whole idea is to connect with people.
Yeah.
With your music.
Yeah.
Whether it's the lyric you wrote, whether it's the melody you write, or whether it's the violin part that I play.
Yeah.
It's about connecting and moving people and making people feel something.
Yeah.
Whatever that feeling is.
Yeah. Yeah. True. What it reminded me of is, do you know like those monks who can create like these really deep sounds? So I sampled that and I used it for like an intro in one of my songs.
Yeah, those Tibetan dudes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the heck? Like what? How can you use your voice like that?
Yeah, Mongolia also, right? I guess
I'm not sure about that.
Wasn't there? Were you telling me about that movie? There was they had it's called throat singing, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know how they do it, but they have they do it in the chanting, and then in Mongolia they have songs, and they even have like that Mongolian cello that they play, like a fiddle.
Yeah, what does collaboration mean to you?
It can be exciting. It can also be maddening.
Oh yeah.
But that's just relationships with people.
In general, right?
I think collaborating with people you like is always enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I think that first and foremost, that's the important thing. I don't care if the person's a master musician. I just want to like them in order to be able to collaborate with them. Yeah. Because if you're not comfortable with somebody, you're not going to come up with a meaningful collaboration. There can be tension, artistic tension. Yeah. Where you're like, and that's how I think a lot of great things are made. When how many bands have you heard of? Yeah. Where the band members clash
for a little bit, and
exactly.
Then,
and hopefully it's only about the music. Yeah. The bands that break up are the ones that it gets personal.
Yeah, and ego is involved and all that stuff.
Yeah. But it gets nasty and it gets personal, and it gets away from arguing about the art and actually, I don't like the way you chew your food, that kind of thing. But I think if you stick to working with people you like, then the collaboration part is easy and fun. Yeah. And inspiring.
Definitely. What it reminded me of is, do you know like those monks who can create like these really deep sounds? So I sampled that and I used it for like an intro in one of my songs.
Yeah, those Tibetan dudes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the heck? Like what? How can you use your voice like that?
Yeah, Mongolia also, right? I guess
I'm not sure about that.
Wasn't there? Were you telling me about that movie? There was They had it's called throat singing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know how they do it, but they have they do it in the chanting, and then in Mongolia they have songs, and they even have like that Mongolian cello that they play, like a fiddle.
And then sometimes I just, roll the windows down and sing along with the record that I love, and not think about, the reverb.
Yeah, just
on the snare
enjoying
drum,
the music.
because at the end of the day, music still has to move us and still has to excite us and inspire us.
I mean,
And it does.
I need you to come in. I'm like, why don't you just tell me how much it's gonna cost? He's like, no, you need to come in. He's like, basically, we need to rebuild your cello. So it was like ridiculous. It was like a new car.
holy fuck.
And it took him a bunch of months
Sorry,
to do.
dude.
Yeah. But so I was like, okay, and the crazy thing is, I just gotten paid from this, like a song had really taken off. I played cello on. It was
Congrats. Yeah, you told me about that earlier, right?
Oh, it was a different one.
That's
actually.
a different one. Okay, yeah.
And
keep it up.
thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
I find that when it's time to write the arrangement creatively, I will get to it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it just, not today. There are no ideas coming today. It's just not happening. When I finally do write the arrangement that was meant to be comes out. If I write an arrangement today for a song, it'll be different than the arrangement I would write 3 days from now.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though I'm doing a job for somebody else, there's still an element of the moment.
Yeah.
And creating and being able to create something when the creativity strikes rather than when the job is due.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
That's a good way to break out of a slump or a writer's block or a creativity block.
Yeah, novelty or like completely something new, as you said.
Something new, yeah. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be a $2,000 guitar. It could be a $50 broken guitar that you get off of the internet, and who knows? You hit it with a stick. I mean, I don't know. It could be anything,
Yeah. That's the beauty of creativity.
And that's the beauty of music. That
Yes. From the heart, thank you so much for tuning in and trusting me with your time. Don't forget to share your creative heart with the world. Please inspire us. Be creative, think critically, and thrive on creativity.